Hi, guys. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Diaries. Thank you so much for clicking back in. Thank you so much for tuning in again. We are currently going through the Holy Week series. If you are new to this and if you've just clicked on for the first time, first of all, thank you so much and hi. But please be sure to check out the first three episodes of this little mini series that I've done. It starts on Palm Sunday, so if you just catch up till today, that'll be really useful for you as well. This is day 4 of the Holy Week series, so we're going to jump straight in. We're going to jump right into the Bible. And as I said yesterday, and as I put in the description yesterday, and in the comment section yesterday, there's a link to the YouVersion app, which I always talk about, which is basically an app for your phone that has all the translations of the Bible in it. So you can just pick the one you like and just read. And there's also devotionals within that app. So whatever walk of life you're going through, whatever you're feeling, whatever mood you're in, wherever you are in life, there's something for you. There's devotionals, which is just like something to read every day for a certain amount of time that kind of relates to that situation. There's one if you're going through grief, if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're depressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're in isolation, if you're feeling lonely, if you've just got married, if you've started a new relationship, if it's to do with friends, if it's to do with falling out with friends, whatever, if it's a new baby in your life, like literally everything under the sun, there's a devotional for it. So it's the YouVersion app, and you'll find great content in there. I'll leave a link again in the description. But if you've already got it, and even if you haven't and you want to get it, there's this really good devotional that I've been reading recently. I found it on, I'd say, Monday, so 2 days ago. And it's to do with the Holy Week. And there's a SoundCloud on each of the days, so you can listen to what's being said, and then you can read the Bible along with it. And it's really good. It's got really cool facts. It looks at things in a different way, and I really enjoy it. So I can't remember the name at the top of my head, which isn't really helpful, but I'll put it in the description, and I'll put a link in my comment section as well. And I'd really recommend checking that out. You can catch up really easily. I know we're like 4 days into the Holy Week, but you can catch up. It's not that long. Just like you can catch up with this if you haven't already watched the first 3 episodes. So be sure to do that and then come back. But yes, let's dive straight in. I've got my Holy Bible, the NIV translation. I've got that going today, and we're going to go back to Matthew, and we're going to read from we're going to read chapter 22 today. So we are obviously in Tuesday, and yesterday we looked at some parables that Jesus shared, and today is no different. So he talks about more parables. And one of the parables he talks about is one about a wedding banquet, which is pretty much exactly the same as yesterday's one with the vineyard, where the father sends out his servants and then his sons, and then the people mistreat the people that they're meant to respect, and people are appalled by it. And it's the same with this wedding banquet, where a king has prepared a wedding banquet for his son, and pretty much the exact same thing happens when he goes to send out invites. But while some of the servants are mistreated, the others, people reject the wedding banquet. They say, I'm too busy doing this mediocre thing. I'm too busy doing something that I could do any other day. I'm too busy to come to this amazing feast. So this is like equivalent to, say, us being invited to like Prince William and Kate's wedding, or Meghan and Harry's wedding, if that still counts, since they're not really pop. But if we got invited to their weddings and we're just like, you know what, I'm washing my hair that day, I need to take my dog for a walk, that kind of thing. That's the equivalent to this. And this is how people treated Jesus when he was on earth. They were like, oh, I'm too busy to listen to you. I'm waiting for the real Messiah to come. But the real Messiah is standing in front of them. So that's his illustration. That was one of them. And then he covers loads of things that we are not going through now, but you can find them in Matthew chapter 22. You can also find them in Mark, Luke, and John as well. I'll put all the references in the descriptions as well for your reading pleasure. And yeah, so that's all the way up to chapter 24. So from chapter 22 to 24, he teaches lots of lessons, lots of parables, lots of things that he talks about. and just so much wisdom you can find in these, and anything Jesus says and throughout the Bible is just wisdom. But yeah, here there's plenty of wisdom that you can read that he shared on his his second to last day on earth. So tomorrow we'll be looking at Maundy Thursday and the Last Supper, but just before that, here on the evening of this day, on the evening of Tuesday, we can see the plot to have Jesus killed is really prominent, and it's really like coming soon. We already know. So if this was like a story that we were reading, we're getting to the point where it's like we know Jesus is going to die now. Like it's fairly obvious. They plotted to kill him, and now plot twist. It's not really a plot twist because we all know, but if we are reading it like a story, plot twist, one of his best friends has turned around and goes, I will be the one to help you kill him. So we're reading that from Matthew chapter 26. Okay. And we'll read from verse 6 to verse 16. While Jesus was in Bethany in the home of Simon, a woman came to him with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume, which she poured on his head as he was reclining at the table. When the disciples saw this, they were mad. Why this waste, they asked. This perfume could have been sold at a high price and the money given to the poor. So we're going to stop there. So there's a woman and a poor woman. And first of all, women have no place to be seated at a table with a teacher. He's still a teacher. Jesus was still respected here. And his male friends, a woman has no place here in these times. But yet this woman came, and not only did she come, she decided to get this really expensive perfume. So Bible scholars say that this was like a year's worth of salary that she wasted, as some people see it, on perfume, poured it on Jesus' head, and she's now worship. Like I said the other day, what worship is, it's a sign of doing something for God, glorifying him, but not everyone saw it like this. People were like, why are you wasting it? Listen to what Jesus says. Aware of this, Jesus said to them, why are you bothering this woman? She has done a beautiful thing for me. The poor you will always have with you, but you will not always have me. When she poured this perfume on my body, she did it to prepare me for burial. Truly I tell you, wherever this gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her, which is what's happening right now. So in some in some of the other gospels, it talks about how she wipes the perfume with her hair, like she proper gets down on her knees to worship him. And in also some translations, the people that did criticize this, they just wanted to kind of call her out. They weren't really caring about the poor. They were just caring about how money was wasted and why is this woman doing this foolish thing. But Jesus was like, listen, I'm not going to be here with you long. And he's been saying this for ages. He knows that he's going to die in a couple of days. And this woman is foreshadowing this. This is she may not know this, but she's preparing his body for burial. This is how they did it in the olden days. After the person died, they poured perfume. They made it all fresh and clean, and then they buried him. So he's like, she's preparing me for this. And he keeps telling these people, this is what's going to happen. And yes, his disciples listen, but it kind of like us, sometimes it goes in one ear, goes out the other, and they forget. And some people are just completely ignorant to the fact. They're just like, no, this is a waste. You're being silly. This is all silly. Like, I'm not hearing it. And Jesus again and again and again tries to tell them what's going to happen. And he says that this is the kind of love I want to see. I want people to waste things on me. It's not a waste at all. It's like, I want people to show their love to me in such a way that they don't care what other people think. This woman didn't care what anyone else thought. She wasn't meant to be doing this. She's a woman. She was looked down upon. She could have been in serious trouble for this. If he turned around and he's like, what are you doing? She could have been killed at this time. But she didn't care. All she wanted was Jesus. And that heart is just a beautiful thing. And Jesus really appreciates anything that you do for him. Then we're carrying on. So this is verse 14. Then one of the 12 disciples, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and asked, what are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you? So they counted out for him 30 pieces of silver. From then on, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand Jesus over. So here we go. Here's a big plot twist, the knife in the back, if you will. Judas has agreed to betray Jesus for just 30 pieces of silver, for a decent amount of money, but he's going to hand over one of his best friends to be killed. Not, like, forget the fact that this is the Son of God, that this is like the amazing man he is. Forget the fact that Judas has seen him change people's lives, seen him share miracles, seen him help people, seen him help the poor, seen him do amazing things, give sight to the blind, heal lepers, heal deaf people, multiply fish and bread. Like, he's seen him walk on water, he's seen it all. And yet he knows that Jesus has never done anything bad, but he wants to hand him over to be killed. Forget that for a second, but this was one of his best friends. This is the person he spent all his days with, all his time with, has dinners with, has private chats with. Like, this is one of his closest friends that he's choosing to betray. Like, it's just madness. But that is the plot twist, and that happens today. And then tomorrow we're going to go on to the big day, like before he gets killed, the big day of the Last Supper of Jesus. You'll see praying for us, like literally us right now. Jesus being betrayed by another one of his friends in a different way, and Jesus performing more miracles and doing many other things. So tomorrow's quite a big one, so we'll look at that tomorrow. But yeah, be sure to check out the descriptions and the comments for all the references that you'll need, and the apps that you need. Before we end this session though, I'd love to share a devotional with you, which is just a little bit, you'll see when I read it. I've been trying to explain what devotionals are all week. I can't explain it. You know when you just know something and you just don't know how to explain what it is. It's basically taking a bit of the Bible and just sharing about it. Kind of like this. This is kind of a devotional, I guess. But I shall get a definition for you by the end of this series, I promise. Okay, but this is a book that I really like. 365 devotions, one for every day of the year, except I didn't have one on Leap Day. But it's about it's about God's word. It's called Unshakable, and it's by, I know it's backwards again, selfie mode, but it's called Unshakable, and it's by this author called Christine Kane, who's also a really great speaker, and she has a great backstory. She's really cool. She was given up when she was a child by her mum, who she doesn't know, her dad, who she doesn't know, and she was adopted when she was young, and she went through quite a bad experience, but God turned it all around, and she's now serving God through various charities, various ministries. She's happily married with 2 little girls, and she's really cool, and she's written this book, and it's a really good book. So I'm going to read a devotional from it that I quite liked, and I think you guys would like to, and I just want to share that with you. It's called Stronger Than You Think. Ephesians 6:10, Ephesians is a book in the New Testament, and chapter 6 verse 10 says, "Finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power." You are stronger than you think. That's because God's strength is unlimited and always available to you. He never meant for us to accomplish everything on our own. As Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Whatever you face this week, this month, this year, take it to him in prayer and trust him with it. Then let these truths strengthen your heart and encourage your faith. There is no disease God cannot heal. There is no pandemic that God cannot heal. There is no heart God cannot mend. There is no relationship that God cannot restore. There is no person that God cannot save. There is no pain that God cannot redeem. There is no sin that God cannot forgive. There is no bondage that God cannot break. There is no need that God cannot meet. And there is no enemy that God cannot defeat. There is no mountain that God cannot move. And there is nothing that our God cannot do. And in him, you are stronger than you think. Just want to leave you with that. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't think oh, should I go live? Okay, it will be in the description if I do go live. I'm literally sitting on the fence about it. I haven't decided. But more likely than not, we'll probably go live because I didn't get to do the Bible study the other day, and this time I want to have the comments open and the live chat open so we can all discuss it together. But check out the description. Everything else that you'll need to know will be there, including references and whether we'll go live tomorrow or not. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Thank you guys. Bye.